Hi everybody, Chris Gerber here from Vancouver, Canada. This week I'm going to talk about phasers and flangers. And first let's talk about how they are kind of the same. So they both deal with taking notches out of the frequency spectrum of your sound. They both commonly have low frequency oscillators attached to them. You can see that in both on the right of both of these devices. And they both frequently or commonly have a phase that you can introduce so that you get a more stereo sound. So this is the difference between the left and the right speakers. So now let's talk about kind of how they are different. So I guess the number one thing is that the flanger deals with a time delay. So you can see that down here, delay time. You can adjust that by moving this thing around. And with the phaser, you are dealing with kind of the phase difference that you're introducing to the second signal. I guess that's another point. So each of these devices introduces a second signal, and you can mix that with the original signal, and that's what really gives it its power. So that when the dry wet is 50, that's when you have equal balance of the original signal and the modified signal. So let's talk about notches for a second. So if I have a flanger and I'm going to introduce a time delay to this signal, which is composed of, let's say, 4 frequencies, then basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a new signal. So you'll see that I chose a specific delay time so that the 250 hertz will actually cancel out. So you'll see a notch in the frequency spectrum at 250 hertz. You'll also see a notch at 750 because what happens is that's kind of a multiple. I mean, 500 is also a multiple, but every other multiple that you have, because I went half a wavelength, you'll see a notch. So that's why the flanger gives an infinite number of notches, not just a discrete amount of them, such as does the phaser. If we go back here, so let's start playing around and let's listen to the difference between these two. So here's my original sound. And now let's put a flanger on this. So let's take the low frequency oscillator off. So you can see what's happening as I adjust the delay time. There are an infinite number of notches that we're moving back and forth, kind of sweeping. And you can actually see that in the spectrum there. So now let's move over to the phaser. The phaser is a little different because you're adjusting a frequency. It's actually a little more subtle, isn't it? And now this is only with one notch taken out, and I can adjust that with this. So now there's 5 notches, which are actually spaced according to something that Ableton has programmed into this device. So you can switch between the spacings of these 5 notches, and you'll see that they sound different. I actually like the phaser a little better. It's a little subtler, and I don't know, it gives a really good feeling. I kind of like it. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening.